A couple quick addendums or just let you guys know. I'm really sorry about the 12 release. We had to pull the 12.4 stable release. We're working very hard to try to get you guys a stable release for 12. We're very close in finishing up the last final bugs for the 12.7 RC. We're working feverishly today to try to get that solved. So we hope to have you guys a new release with all the bugs squashed here shortly. Hopefully within the next couple days. We can talk more after the presentation about particular issues and whatnot and questions you guys have. Okay, I think that's all I have for quick notes. So I'm actually the presenter this time. My first presenting is actually presenting for the group, and we're going to talk about debugging projects, which I know can be quite painful sometimes. But it's a useful skill to have, and also how to report bugs to us when you guys actually find them. So the first thing, don't panic. When there's a bug, the worst thing you do is start guessing and making assumptions that could be totally false. Just take a breath and think through it. It'll go a long way in helping you resolve the issue. So debugging is kind of like a detective game. There's clues you have to follow, hypothesis you have to make, but the main way this kind of works is you need to gather all the information relative to what the problem is. You need to isolate the issue, as in you need to make it as small and simple to find as possible. If it's in a big complex game, you're not going to be able to find it easily, and it's just going to make your life harder to find it. And then you need to make a hypothesis about what you think this actually might be. Why is this happening? Why is this behavior not functioning properly? Why is the game crash? Test your hypothesis. Find some way to testing it using display tests or whatnot to actually see, are you correct? If you are, then you know the problem, you know how to fix it. If you're not, the assumption was wrong, you need to try again and find another hypothesis that is correct. So how do we do this in GameSalad? Well, we have this lovely thing, device logs. There's one way. We actually write a lot of information out to this, and if you get a crash, there's some helpful information in the device logs that you can see to help you with this. On iOS, you can get the device logs through Xcode or the iPhone configuration utility program, which is available on Windows. If you're on Windows and you want to see your device logs on your iOS, it's also for Mac as well. Lua, for example, we have a Lua core on our engine, and if Lua has a problem, it will write out in the logs some useful information that can help you kind of narrow down what possible behavior it is. Another thing that's nice is the debug log statement that we use will also write the device log. So you yourself can put your own logging in there to help you track down what behavior or what actor is causing an issue. Just remember to turn that stuff off when you're ready to publish it out to a live app store. And you can also use the display text behavior to help figure out what's going on in the order things are executing in. The other thing you can do is look up what changed last. You know, keep the idea, either use like a source control or keep track of what you changed. Clearly, it's something you changed last that's probably causing the issue. And if you're using HTML5 games, you can also right-click and look at the console. All web browsers have a console, and the HTML5 engine will also write out information for, like, why is my image not there? It'll write out that I can't find image X, Y, and Z, and other such things. And it depends where that is on the device browser. In Safari, it's under the developer menu. And then, of course, in Android, you can use Logcat to find useful information there as well. So the next step, once you've got a way of gathering information and seeing what's going on, you need to isolate down the issue. First, I recommend back up your project. Always back up your project doing this because you're probably going to be changing the project quite heavily and maybe not in a way that's easy to get back to the original state. Start turning off behaviors. This is one of the best things you can do. Narrow down to as few as behaviors as possible. If you can get it down to one, then you know where the problem is. If you turn them all off, then there's probably something else that might be the problem. But you need to not have extra stuff that are basically red herrings. You need to turn off all the other behaviors that aren't relative to what you're doing. And then, if that still doesn't help you, you need to start isolating down the actors or scenes. You need to, if you have 40 scenes in your game, you need to isolate down to 1 or 2 scenes and continue to isolate down until you find the one actor or one behavior that's causing the problem. So by eliminating scenes and actors, it can help you really drill down to the exact issue that you're trying to find. So now, once you've gathered all this information and figured out that it might be actor X with behavior Y, You need to make some hypothesis of what might be the problem. Could it be something I put in the expression editor? Could it be the way this actor is moving across the scene? Based on information you gathered, figure out what might be causing the issue. Make a hypothesis about it. Then, test your hypothesis. First, you can design a test so you can actually determine whether or not your hypothesis is even correct. And you can use things like the display text behavior or the log debug statement to display those results to help you really determine exactly whether or not your hypothesis is correct. If it's not correct, you need to try again or maybe redesign your test. If that's not, one thing, if it's not this behavior, well then it might be this behavior. And try retesting that hypothesis until you come up with the correct hypothesis, and now you know what the problem is. So once you've found one of these bugs that is clearly not an issue of like your behaviors are wrong, but it's clearly something wrong with our code, we have ways to help you guys report those bugs to us so we can actually fix them. So how do you go about reporting one of those? Well, we have this lovely website called bugs.gamesalad.com, and in it you'll log in with your GameSalad account, and the first thing you'll see is you'll click New Bug, and it'll ask you whether you want to create a bug for creator or tool. Or creator, which is the preview or tool here, or the engine, which are bugs in the published game or viewer. There's a couple other ones for like the website as well that you can choose. But in our case here, if it's something in the tool or preview, it'll be creator, and if it's something with the published app or the viewer, it's going to be the engine. So the things to avoid when you're reporting bugs to us: vague words. Things are broken. That doesn't help me. I can't put that in my debugger and figure out what your problem is. Slang. Slang can be hard for us to understand, especially if it comes from a country. Being very clear helps us determine what your problem is. And uncommon terminology. If you need to use abbreviations for things, if they're not commonly known, please describe what they are. Actually print out the full word. Basic information, we see this a lot. Missing basic information like what platform it's on, what version. If you report a bug and it's on Android and I don't know that, I can't help you. I have no way of being able to figure out what's wrong. Missing attachments. Please make sure your attachments are uploaded and we can actually see them. And don't attach really large projects. Like if your project is 100 megs or 20 megs and you got scenes everywhere and you're like I start this project up and it crashes. That doesn't help us. That means I have to go through and I have to isolate the problem and figure out, and that could take me hours to do that. And we have so many bugs that come in and whatnot, we can't necessarily be doing this for large projects. So most of the time if it's a large project and it takes us more than like 30 minutes to figure out, we're just going to send the bug back and say we can't reproduce it. So it helps us if you would go ahead and take that large project and go ahead and on your own isolate the problem down to like 1 or 2 actors and then attach that project so we can more quickly get to the bug and fix the issue. And also, please don't put multiple bugs in one report. If you have 5 bugs, submit 5 bugs. Don't submit 1 bug with 5 bugs. It's hard for us to keep track of the bugs, and it makes it hard for QA to help vet those bugs and figure out what actually is the issue. So here's an example of a couple bad bugs reported. My game doesn't work. Very vague statement, and I can't read the mind of that person. So I would just have to close that bug, say I can't reproduce it. Creators and lots, please fix. Please don't use capital case like this. Yelling at us doesn't make your bug get fixed any sooner, and probably won't expedite any things. Also, is kind of not the most polite thing in the world to do. So we were asked to be respectful and don't use capital letters like that. So here's another one. Pause behavior does not work in my game, so this is better. Steps to reproduce. Creator loads and open a project that uses the pause behavior in a scene. Select publish the game, locate results. Publish pause does not work in the game, which is a little too vague, and there's no attachment link there as well. Also, they don't have any information about what kind of device it is or what platform or anything like that. So I don't have a lot to go on here. So how do you write good bugs? And what do we really need for us to really do our job to help resolve your guys' bugs as quickly as possible? Well, first thing is include a version and platform that the bug occurs on. If it happens on Android, let us know. If it happens on iOS and Android, that's really helpful information for us to know. The more platforms we know that happens on, the better we can nail down where in the code the problem's happening. Also, what version would help us as well, because we'll know what code base to look at. Next, you need to have a summary. This should be a one complete sentence that sums up the issue. We should be able to read the summary and have a pretty good idea, but maybe a vague idea of exactly what the bug is talking about. And we really mean complete sentence. 1 or 2 words is not a summary. And then we need a description. Now, the box says description, but there's actually more that goes in the description than a description of what the bug says. We would like a full description of the bug with full complete sentences that should clearly explain the issue and be really specific. Again, vague descriptions don't help us really narrow it down. We waste a lot of time hunting down exactly what you're talking about. We do understand, though, some of our users don't speak English as their first language. And if that's the case, if you have to run through Google Translate, that's okay. Or if you want to attach both the non-translated and the translated, that'll work. We all speak pretty much English here, so we'll have to run through Google Translate anyway. But if we had the original and you don't think Google Translate did a good job, we could possibly run through something else. Steps to reproduce. This is one of the most crucial things for us to have. This saves us so much time. It makes it so much easier for us to be able to help get to the bottom of your issue. So steps to reproduce should be a numbered list that provides easy to follow steps. So anybody to reproduce, not just you, but anybody. People who are going to be reproducing these don't know anything about your game and will need to be able to easily walk through them. And then once you have that, the expected result, what should actually happen? What's the correct occurrence of this? Please describe one sentence what the issue should really result in, like the game doesn't crash, or when I run the actor against the wall, he doesn't walk through the wall. And then, of course, the actual result. What is, in one complete sentence, what is the actual result that you are actually seeing? Like, he walks through the wall, or the app crashes. This will help us know what you're actually wanting the result to be. Sometimes, clearly the expected result may not be exactly what we. This helps us idea of what your expectation is, and maybe your expectation is different than ours, which is really helpful to know. So here's an example of a good bug. Now you build Creator, so I know it happens on an build. I know it happens on Creator. I cannot preview the project that contains a table. Okay, now it has to do some of the tables. This applies to both Creator and Preview, which is really handy because the Preview and the Viewer work on a little bit different code bases. They have a couple pieces that share code, so I know there's somewhere that share code. And this occurs on MacBook Air running iOS 10.9.5. So I know it's running on a Macintosh, and I know it's running on Mavericks. So I know that I don't have to go back. I may have to go back and forward, but I know you're not running on beta software or anything like that, or like Yosemite. So here's steps. You launch the latest, create a new project, click Preview, and there, notice the game previews normally. So here are the expected results kind of up in 3 there. Navigate to Tables tab, easy to do. Add one new table on the project, click Preview. Very simple to follow. Expected result, it doesn't crash. Clearly, that should not be, should clearly be the result of this, the expected result. Actually, it will crash immediately. This blocks the user from previewing, creating projects that contain a table. Crash log and table or sample project are attached. Now, a couple of things about this are handy. One, knowing that this blocks the user means that this is a higher priority bug. We know that this is actually causing people not to be able to continue and use our product, which makes it a higher priority for us. And the fact that there's a log attached to the sample project makes it even easier for us to figure out exactly what the issue could be. So attachments. All right, so the way the bugs.gamesalad.com database is set up, attachments can only be seen by you and the GameSalad staff. No other people, no other users can see it. Projects should be small and clearly demonstrate the issue. We don't have time to dig through large projects. We just have too many projects to go through. We're a small group of people, small team here, and unfortunately we don't have time to dig through hours and hours of large projects. And images, if you're going to say, hey, this is what it looks like, they should supplement your description, not replace it, or the steps. If the steps are a little confusing and the image helps, that's okay, but you should still have good steps to help us walk it through it, because I can't necessarily figure out steps based on a static image. If you guys want to do videos, you can also give us links and has good YouTube or something like that as well. We're quite happy to look at videos. So once your bug's in there, and you've submitted it, so you'll notice you'll be like, now what? How do I know what's going on with my bug? Well, there's a couple things. There's a bug status. So when you first submit a bug, all the bugs are unconfirmed. It means it's been submitted, but no one else has been able to reproduce it in the QA department at GameSalad. Once somebody QA or one of the developers has picked it up and actually walked through your steps and description and actually produced it, then it becomes a confirmed bug. And it'll get assigned to either our generic developers, which is you'll see mine's dev at Bugzilla. That's just a generic. None of the developers have it, or you'll see a specific one. Let's pick it up. Now, at this point, you can start, when you submit a bug, you're automatically added as a watcher. But if you find a bug in the database you want to watch, you can go in and actually watch a bug as well in your reports when these statuses change. So when it goes in progress, which you may or not see, sometimes we don't always put the bug into progress before we fix it. A developer is actively working on fixing this bug. Then we'll put it into the resolve state, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and send it back to QA. And then when QA verifies that fix is in there, you'll see it's verified. That means the QA department has verified the fix for that bug. So there's some resolve states you'll find. When your bug has been resolved by one of us, this is the state that can be put in here. So the first one's pretty self-explanatory. It was fixed. A developer fixed the issue, and we sent it over to QA to be verified. Pretty standard one. And then we'll see the fix come out in a stable release. Cannot reproduce. This means something in your description, or maybe we fixed the issue, or maybe it's a really weird case, so we here cannot reproduce your bug. We've tried, we've spent an hour, 30 minutes, we can't figure it out based off the description, based off the steps. Could be we're missing the device. Basically, at this point, we'll send it back to you as resolved as cannot reproduce. And if you want to give us better information, or you want to pare down the project, maybe that would help us out, you can do that. But in this case, we can't help you any further with that. Duplicate bug has already been reported in the database. We ask that before you submit a bug, you might want to go search to see if it's already been in the database. In that case, you can just go vote for it to help get it fixed faster, or add more information. Maybe you have additional information on the bug that the original user who submitted doesn't have it. But in this case, we will tell you this is the bug is duplicated, and we'll link to the bug that's a duplicate of. Invalid is that we can't make heads or tails of what this is. It's not a bug, and it's not a feature request, or it's a not very well-written bug, and we still can't make any heads or tails of it. So we'll just call it invalid. We don't know what to do with it, and we close it off. And then won't fix, which we don't use very often, is GameSalad won't fix this bug. That doesn't mean necessarily we don't care about the bug, but it may be an issue that an unreleased product is going to fix this bug, or we have something down the line that will fix it, or maybe the fact that iOS 4 there's a bug. Well, iOS 4 is probably going to be dropped, so we're not going to probably fix those bugs. Doesn't mean we don't care about your bug. It just means in this case we're not going to. There's something that's keeping us from fixing it, and usually we'll describe about why we won't fix it. So the bug versions. There are two versions that you guys probably care about. One more, maybe one. The version is the version of the bug of GameSalad that it was reported in, and the fixed version is the one that we're going to fix it on. Now, if the version isn't in there, if you get into the situation where you want to report a bug and the version's not there, just put it unspecified and just put a note that, hey, I can't put it on. It's actually this version, but there's no version, and one of us will add that version later and go ahead and assign it to that. I know that's happened in the past from the release candidates. We haven't kept up fast enough with the version numbers. So if that happens, just report it as I don't know the version, and just let us know what version is on, and we'll add it. The fixed version is the version that we are going to release that fix in. Now, there's a couple of them that you'll see. There's a dash, which means we haven't assigned it to a version, and there's a back to some future version we will fix the bug in, but there isn't an assigned upcoming release that we're going to fix it in. A lot of times you'll see a lot of the ones for 10.6, for example, you'll see 12.7 is the fixed version for those. So that's what those mean. So to conclude, to debug your GameSalad project, gather information first. Figure out, get all the information before you start panicking or whatnot. Just calm down and figure out all the information you can gather to make the best hypothesis you can about what's happening. Isolate the issue. Pare down to the smallest subset of actors, behaviors, and scenes you can, so that you don't chase down other actors that have nothing to do with this. Make a hypothesis of why. After you all this information, figure out, why is this happening? I think actor this is doing this because something's wrong in the expression editor. And then test and see if it's right. And if it's wrong, don't worry. Just try again until you really get down to exactly what the problem is. Then when you find a bug that's on our side, that's part of the engine code, go ahead and report to us at bugs.gamesalad.com. And make sure you have a summary, description, steps to reproduce, and results to help us easily and quickly figure out what the bug is and find it. And please use clear language and complete sentences. It helps us not have to go have a back and forth with you guys a lot to really hunt down what you're actually trying to say. So after that, we'll go ahead and take questions, and we will figure out the best way to do this. Let's see how many people have 15 on here. All right, I got a couple of them here. There should be a note next to the add attachment in the bug report saying that, yes, yeah, you're calling right. Yeah, we should add that. You want to note that, and I'll talk to Chris about adding a fact that GS staff, well, no one can see the add attachment. And Alex calling, I have a bug or issue when I use GS Viewer on my Mac and test an Android device, sound. And I would recommend you put in a bug report. And the sound, so sounds are really hard. Sounds can be very hard to even debug on our side. So usually Logcat will give you some indication about the sound. Unfortunately, most of the information is one of those things you kind of have to listen to it. Yeah, in those situations, sound usually is not on your side, it's probably on our side, unless it's in a weird sound format. In that case, send a bug over away, say, here's the sample sound, and we'll take a look at it. Android, we've had some really weird problems with Android devices and sound. It can be really finicky a lot. So let's see. So questions. Do you think I have enough people I can probably just turn on unmute everybody? What do you think?
I usually just turn it on.
Yeah, all right, we're going to try unmuting people, and we'll see how this all works. Let's be respectful, everybody. People here. All right, unmute everybody. If you don't want to be muted, if you don't want to be unmuted, just remute yourself. So everybody's unmuted, so go ahead and ask questions. You can ask questions down at the bottom. Okay, so go ahead and everybody can talk to each other and ask away.
Okay, I'll kick it off.
Sure.
What's happening with the new image rendering system? There's been a lot of questions on the website, and it's pretty unclear. Everybody's really confused. Is something going to be done about that soon so that we're kind of ready when it actually comes out?
Are you talking about the @2x and @3x rework?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to take that, Tan?
Make your source images 50 cents. If you're making new games, make your source images about 50% bigger than you normally would. Turn on Retina display, and everything will just work. If you're using existing games, you can't do that, then turn off resolution independence, and everything will work. That's pretty much the upstream.
Basically, we reworked the resolution independence to work a little better for the new iPhones. And we found that as the devices continue to go, the old way resolution independence worked was kind of weird. So we made it work how we thought it should work, basically. There's a long forum thread that Tan commented on in the forums. I think which thread is on, Tan?
I don't remember. I'll look for it again later.
Yeah, we'll post it. We'll find it and we'll post the little thing in the forums.
Do you have a specific question on or question on what you're confused, or do you have a specific question on what you're confused about? Maybe I can help there.
I'm pretty good with it at the moment, I think, anyway.
Okay.
But I mean, it's still a little. If you had a dedicated thread for it with an original post that could be changed and updated as people ask questions, it might just clear the whole thing up, and people can always refer to that then and go, oh, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Using words like about don't really help. I mean, about 50% bigger, these are a little bit open.
Yeah, I think we just have to find, because I've just been kind of assuming everyone was reading that post. It'd be a good idea to pull it out, yeah. Okay.
Hi, Philip here.
Hey, Philip, go ahead.
Okay, previously the maximum resolution in the creator was 2048, right?
Yeah,
width and landscape.
Yeah, 204 by.
Is that still the same right now?
That is still the same right now.
With 12.6?
I'm sorry?
With 12.6?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And it'll be the same in 12.7 when you got that tidied up.
Yep. I haven't touched that code in quite a while.
Is that still true? Is that still true being the max size?
Yeah, I looked it up. Well, I looked up for Creator. I'm not sure what the max size is.
No, I meant for the device.
That's completely up to the device.
Because if we stick them at that and we're scaling images down one third, their kind of users are going to be kind of screwed in that they can't make images that are the right size for what they need.
I can easily change it.
One of the things you need to check what I'm asking is we need to check if iPhone 6 still has that max resolution.
Oh, it's totally divided. Well, the problem now is that we have Android too. So I will tell you, the iPhone will probably have a higher max resolution than all the Android devices do.
Then we'll need to also know what the max for Android is.
They're going to be like this. You could have one that's like 2,000 by 2,000 and one that's like 512.
That's going to be up to the users to figure where they target. But like for people who are using iPhone, in order to take advantage of both Retina display, iPad, and iPhone, they're probably going to need bigger.
Probably so, yeah. Well, we'll talk to our guy. We'll talk to Brian who does the graphic stuff and try to find a good top one. But if you guys think it's too low, put a feature request in and suggest a new resolution. Totally open to that. It's a pretty simple fix.
Okay, just to summarize that once and for all, right now, just build for the Retina iPad.
Yeah, the max allow you to do right now is 2048.
2048 by 1536. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks.
Any other questions or? Yeah.
Well, like we may just keep y'all on here because our pizza hasn't gotten here yet.
So you can start doing polls. You got some polls, Cam.
Another question: Are all the in-app purchase problems resolved?
The system itself, yes. However, there is a side effect bug with Android in that with tables, if you exit out, or with display text that displays a table value, if you exit out of the Android, your Android game, and you come back in, the text won't display. And we're still looking at why that is. Unfortunately, that's kind of a pain to track down because when you exit, the debugger detaches, and so you basically are reduced to debugging with print statements. So it's a little slower going than we like debugging this, but at least we know what the issue is, and we're tracking it down. But as far as the IAP commands themselves go, I think we've squashed all the bugs as far as what's been reported so far.
So it works fine on iOS. At the moment, I'm not building for Android anyway.
Okay. Yeah, as far as iOS goes, yeah, the new ones, we've fixed all the known bugs for that.
Okay, and that's in 12.6 again?
I don't know there were any new ones in 12.7. I don't think so. I think everything in 12.6 should be good.
Yeah, I think iOS, the only thing that we're still working on iOS is the launch screen. There was the big one that we have between 6 and 7 iPhone is iPhone 6 Plus does not report the correct device resolution, and we also found out the launch images aren't scaling properly or it's not using the right ones. So that's currently what we spent at least 3 days trying to figure out. But
yeah, I forget when we put out 6. There may be one iOS bug on in-app purchase that was fixed between 6 and 7, so that'll come out in 7. There was an issue where. Let's see, how does that work if you bought something twice?
Oh yeah, that
there was a problem. If you tried to buy something twice, there were problems, and that's been fixed.
Okay, very good. How far off is 12.7? I know it's hard for you to say, but
if I had my way, I've been out like 2 days ago. But yeah, we've been fighting. So Apple, in their great wisdom, decided to change the launch system yet again. Custom launch screens, and so we're trying to figure out what exactly causes the iPhone 6 Plus to actually report the fact that it's an iPhone 6 Plus. It has to do with the launch screen, and we're still trying to figure it out. Apple has core documentation on it, and it's basically a guess and check, so we're still trying to figure out exactly what it is. But as soon as we get it resolved, that should be it, besides the one Android bug we talked about earlier.
Is there any way around it for us right now? In other words, don't bother with a launch screen at all. Just upload a blank image and then start your first scene as a 3-second scene.
Yeah, we could do that, except that you won't get, if you ask for the device resolution from the iPad 6 Plus, it won't actually give you the right resolution. It'll give you the iPhone.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sure.
So,
thanks.
Yeah, we can release it, but I don't know if you guys will find it useful or not, because the launch stuff is, the launch screen is pretty broken.
Okay, no, fine. Don't release it till it's fixed, please.
Yeah, as soon as we get that fixed, we'll get out to you guys. So, any other questions?
Can you make it so the GoToWebinar launch panel will show the questions from everybody else? At the moment, I can only see what I type in there. I can't see what everybody else would see.
It's not built that way. It basically, it'll only show the other people's questions if we answer them publicly. You can't set it up to...
Yeah, I could do that. I could just, of course, okay, I'll say.
Yeah, well, just read them all out.
Yeah, well, okay, so the question I had already answered was, there should be a note next to the add attachment in the bug reporting page that says GSF and links to the attachment, and we completely agree, and we'll work on getting that happening. Alex reported there's a bug with GSViewer and the Android device and no sound. I suggest that we just go ahead and spit a bug over to us for that one. It's kind of hard to debug that. It's pretty sure it's on our side. That's about unmuting. Oh, there was some more. Here we go. Will there be better text options fonts? So the font system is kind of on the back burner to rework. We've got bigger fish to fry right now, as we should say. But at some point, yeah, we're going to overhaul the font system in some form or fashion. But probably nowhere until next year.
I don't know. Well,
because the rest of this year is pretty much slated out to get Windows somewhere close to similar.
So one of the things we're going to be doing with Windows is adding a generic font library to it, and that will put us a great deal toward being able to do custom fonts.
Yeah, well, that's true. We might be able to get out of that with the Windows.
Yeah, the Windows custom fonts may actually come out before Mac and or custom fonts. So go Windows.
Yeah. Thank you, Windows, for helping us out with that.
Do you have to get Windows up to speed so that you can join them together and create a 13?
Yeah, so there's a couple things, right? So actually, we saw some stuff in the forums. I saw people talking about, like, well, what do we use with Windows? You know, are that many Windows users? So there's a lot of Windows users you guys don't realize on the forums. A lot of the Windows users are actually in the education space. We actually have a lot of students who use the PC version. And so it's kind of, it makes sense for us to get that up to something that everybody can use. There's probably a lot more PC users than people seem that we actually have, because a lot of them don't actually show up on the forums. But it's also too, like,
it's mostly because we're advertising the system to the Windows version, and we have people upgrading to Pro because of it. And so it's only fair that we get the systems to work together. It's not linked to our effort to create a single unified system.
Yeah,
that's separate. That's going to be a separate thing. This is just more about serving, being fair to the Windows users.
Yeah, the Windows creator hasn't been updated in over a year, and it's quite far behind where Mac is right now. And we really, just as a service to the users, we need to get it up. I mean, they don't have loops. They don't have some of the more. They don't have any of the network commands. They don't have a lot of the some recent expression functionality that's been added. So there's just a lot in there that's missing that we really like. Plus, one of the things we're doing with Windows is we're moving over to native preview, which means it will use the Lua engine instead of the HTML5 engine to preview, and that will make it so that the Mac and the Windows systems are tighter coupled, so that when we update the engine, we can update both of them simultaneously. Because right now we can't do that because the Windows creator is using the HTML5 engine, which is updated.
So when you write the combined version, I think that's 13, isn't it? And is that going to be a complete rewrite?
No. 13 will just be a normal update, but hopefully when 13 comes out, it will be effectively a simultaneous.
Separate things.
Yeah, there's separate things.
Yeah, 13 is going to be 13 is not going to be a combined version so much as it's going to be the first version after in which both of them are going to be feature compatible, or
feature complete.
Feature complete.
But
Yeah.
what comes out, both Windows 13 and Mac 13, they should have all the same feature set. It'll be the first time we've done that. 'Cause right now, Windows has always lagged behind Mac, and starting from 13 on, they should basically come out parallel.
Yeah, so ideally you'd be able to work on either platform. You could work on PC for a while and take your project and hop over to the Mac, work on the Mac for a while and go back and forth.
Right, but they won't look the same. They will still be two separate products.
Yeah.
But
What's the time frame for 13?
Sorry?
Time frame for 13.
What's the time frame?
Sometime at the end of this year.
Yeah, hopefully end of this year, or if things go wrong, early next year. And things do have a tendency to go wrong, but we're going to try to get it out as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the cross-platform one, that is a complete rewrite?
We can't talk too much yet about exactly on that. We'll provide more information when we get there, but it's not taking the Windows and
the
Mac.
cross-platform is a rewrite of the tool because it's cross-platform.
Yeah.
By definition.
Yeah, we're not merging the two code bases we already have. That would be too difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Windows is written in C# and Mac is written in Objective-C, and obviously that's an issue.
Yeah.
And that's, so 13 will still be two code bases, but the feature set should be equivalent.
So when are you going to write the cross-platform one in?
That's going on in Paradigm.
A cross-platform language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can't say right now.
I mean, you can say, but
I don't care.
we're going to be writing it in QT.
Okay. No, we're writing in Qt, the Qt framework.
Sorry, in what?
There's a framework that is technically C++, but it has a component that lets you write in something called QML, which is a JavaScript derivative language.
Okay.
Go to qtproject.org to find out more.
Yeah. Or do a search for Qt SDK, and that'll get you to it.
You probably look at questions while you're talking there. Sorry, I'm a little behind on the questions. Okay, what's the ETA? Oh, new marketplace. Yeah, so there's a question, what's the ETA on the new marketplace, specifically new rules enforcing intellectual property in the marketplace?
There are, in terms of new rules, the thing is, the rules that exist are going to be the same. It's just that the new marketplace, we're just going to be pickier in terms of the quality of what we're letting in. So if you see an intellectual property violation, just let us know. It's going to be the same problem in that it's still humans verifying things. And so we're not going to be able to catch every single instance of intellectual property, especially if it's for things that we don't know about. So both marketplaces will still have the same problem. So if you see a violation, you just let us know. And generally speaking, they both should have the same rules for that. In terms of what's going to let in, though, we are going to be more stringent about the quality of what's going to be in the new marketplace, and we're going to probably put more content rules in terms of what we'll accept. In terms of when the new marketplace is coming out, we're hoping sometime before the end of the year. Basically, we try to experiment more with making the interface a little bit fancier than we did. Basically, we try to push the limits of the marketplace system we're building, and that failed, so we're kind of falling backwards a little bit in terms of making it a little more standard with what we're building on top of. But overall, it's going to be a lot better experience than the existing marketplace.
Another question?
Sure.
Does code obfuscation function in 12.6?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think that's what's causing a lot of the problems, isn't it?
What? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Obfuscation is what is causing a lot of the problems with this 12.6 builds.
So whoever's asking the question, we can't understand, probably because of some weird compression, so you might just want to type it out for us.
So one more question to the marketplace. Will it work better in Safari, the new one?
Actually, that's really more something I just need to take down some, I need to change some code. We switched off the payment provider we were using, and that was the main reason we had problems on Safari. So it should actually, there's no reason it shouldn't work on Safari now. I just need to turn it off.
Because there were some, I noticed recently when I click on a link to a template in the marketplace on Safari, it actually doesn't take me to the template, but to the main page. Whereas in Chrome, for example, it takes me straight to the template.
Okay, if you haven't, could you report that bug on bugs.com,
Okay.
on bugs.gamesalad.com, and we'll get to it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, going back to the original talk, talking about reporting bugs, reporting a bug is much better than reporting a bug in bugs.gamesalad.com is much better than reporting a bug in the forum, because we may not see it in the forum or may not see it immediately, and of course, if it's in the forum, we have no way of tracking it. So if you have a complaint about a bug, you can talk about it in the forum, but please report it on bugs.gamesalad.com.
Yeah, and if you have more information, instead of having a discussion about the information on the forum, go discuss it in the bug, because then we can actually look at that information as it gets put in the bug, and we can comment it on well. And then someone going to look at that bug, saying, hey, I have this problem, can see that bug and see that conversation and go, oh, I have this bug. Oh, he said to fix it this way. Oh, okay. So it's helpful that way. Also, another thing, probably I didn't talk too much in here, but feature requests are also, we take feature requests in the bug database now, and you can go vote for them. When you log in, let's see if I can find a website here. Let's see, do I have, so if I go to bugs.gamesalad.com, and I log in here with my non-GameSalad account so you can see what you would see. There's this lovely page here. And here you'll see that this is feature requests. This is the feature request list right here. So if you find feature requests you just love and you want in as soon as you can, go vote for it. Next year we will be going down this list from highest number to lowest number, with a couple exceptions, and those will be the new features we'll do for next release. So clearly AdMob is so far the winner. So sometime next year we'll be doing that. Some things we may punt on or move if they're really large, like this scripting one. I know everybody really likes that. We may have to skip over that due to issues with it just being too large. So we still hold reserve right on whether we're going to do the feature or not. But the idea here is we're literally just going to go down this list. So if you really have a feature you want, go vote for it. And what's our voting scheme currently, Sam?
It's pros get votes.
Pros get votes. So if you're a pro user, you can go vote. That's part of the privileges that you get when you get a pro account. You can go vote and help determine where this tool goes.
Is there a plan to give some limited amount of votes to non-pro users as well?
Someday, but not yet.
Okay, where was that? So yeah, anyway, and the idea is when you put a feature request in, please put in the feature request thing there. Actually type in feature request. It helps us sort easier. People can search better, right? But when you go into these, you'll see that how you'll know their feature request is. I can't see that on here. Well, there's a that show up. Well, that's way. There should be a component that says it's an enhancement. Somehow that's not showing up here, which is unfortunate. But it helps if you put feature request here so people know it's a feature request. And people can search for feature requests to show all the feature requests. But yeah, and then people can talk about why they want it, and you'll see there's a lot of people want to comment on like it. So, yeah. And then over here, I don't think I'm a pro user on this account, but if you are, there's a way to vote over here.
There's an importance 25 votes, so it's on the left there.
Oh, there it is.
Importance.
There, there you go. There's the vote button. Yes. Click the vote button, and you will vote for it, and whatnot. I guess there's a watch too. There's also a watch somewhere, and I can't find it. Oh, you can say here you can add me to the CC list. I'm added to everything probably, but anyway, you can add yourself to the CC list, and you'll get updates when that bug changes. All right. All right. Another question: is obfuscation causing an issue with the RC12? The earlier RCs, yes. The current ones, no. 12.6, we don't have any problems with the RCs. We did have a problem with the Android, but that wasn't an encryption problem. That was the problem we have with the Android at 12.7 fixes is an issue with Unicode and tables not coming across correctly.
That particular one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some earlier in 12, but
yeah, but all the ones now are fixed. We don't have any more obfuscation problems in 12. 12.6 does have a problem with Android with tables, so that doesn't have to do anything with the communication. But the other nice thing is the 12. We talked about a little bit of Unicode, but we switched everything over to support internally Unicode 16. So we now both creators, I think Windows Creator might maybe support it already. Yeah, Windows Creator supports 16. Mac used to only support 8. Now Mac supports 16. So you now can actually use the full character set of Unicode. When you export out and save, we still export out as UTF-8, but everything should be okay. That's just a file format that's UTF-8.
So sorry about, there was a question about the marketplace I abandoned because I had to pick up our pizza, but if we give free users votes, we're going to give pro users even more votes, so,
That would be ideal, yeah, but I think it would be great to have at least, a couple votes for non-pros so that people get into the habit of voting and knowing that the system is there.
And you don't have to just vote on feature requests. You can also vote on bugs. If there's a bug that everybody thinks needs to get fixed sooner than later, go vote for it.
Yeah. The other possibility we may also do is have them more like gifts. So free users wouldn't get them by default, but if they help out in the community in some way, then you grant them like that.
So another thing also came up before, speaking about bugs, is then earned by helping find bugs. It's called the Nightly Warrior Badge. I originally made it for the Nightly Build, but I'm giving it out for RC. People who find a lot of bugs in the RC. One bug does not earn you the badge. You have to be someone who does a major contribution as in finding lots of bugs or finding really bad bugs to earn the badge. So if you like 4 badges, there's a badge you can earn for that. I may ask more a little bit later as time passes. But yeah, if you like finding bugs and you like 4 badges, there's a badge for you. If you think you earn it, or if you've earned it, let me know. But I basically right now I've just been kind of keeping track of who does the most reporting and the most helping with finding bugs, and I award it that way. So anybody else have any questions, or we can do polls too if anybody has some poll questions. We can do some polls as well. If you ever want to know about the 15 people in this room, I think it's 15. Yeah, 15 people in this room.
Well,
the emails the bug system sends out when it notifies you that someone's made a change, I never get CC'd anything, and I've set my preferences several times, and it just never works.
Okay. If you're having problems, go ahead and submit a bug to the bug database. Add it to, I think, website is the bug type.
Website, and there's a Bugzilla section in that there.
So yeah, click website, and then there's Bugzilla right there.
I did that, and it never got fixed.
Yeah, send us the
bug.
bug.
It was at one stage, but then it broke again.
Okay, if it broke, send us the bug this way, and we'll make sure our guy who's on Bugzilla fixes that.
Okay.
So if no one has any questions, does anyone have any games they want to share that they're coming up with soon? Free advertising.
Hey, we can't see the...
Hello?
Nobody? No one with new games? New and exciting games?
Show it.
That's one here, I think.
Yeah, these were for dipping.
Oh.
So it seems like someone was trying to say something, but we never quite get the end of the sentence. Yeah. So
Show me the pizza.
Oh. Yeah, I figure you guys don't want this to eat, so I turned off the webcam. I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
See, you too could come here and eat pizza. You know, maybe you lived in
Wait, is anyone online in the Austin, Texas area?
That's part of the problem. Or is anybody interested in starting their own meetup in their own local area?
Are you going to supply us with the pizza?
Wait. So if we supplied you with pizza, would you actually run a meetup? See?
Well, there was an attempt to do a meetup in London, but then it failed somehow. But I think it would be actually quite nice because there seem to be quite a couple of people around the south of England.
Yeah, we'd love to have one start up there. Like I said, Tan and I have been, at least I'm speaking for Tan, but I have no problem Skyping into these things. If you guys want to host a meetup, we can help give you free advertising on our meetup page and on the forums. And I'm trying to get on, I got Facebook going and hopefully Twitter soon. So we will help you promote the meetup through our channels as well. And then we'll be happy to show up at least online for the meetup to help get the meetup going.
Great.
So if anybody's interested in that, just contact me on the forums, and we can have further discussions on that.
Okay, Philip here again. I'm a little disappointed that so few members attend your meetups. I mean, you guys go to a lot of trouble and give up your time, and hardly anybody participates. They all bitch and moan on the forum.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to get the word out more. I think there's a lot of people who either don't see it on the sticky or, I don't know, just aren't aware of it. So I'm going to try the Twitter and Facebook path a little bit. But if you guys can help spread the word, like if you see someone complain about something, like go to the meetup, talk to the people who actually make the tool. We don't bite, you know. The group has slowly grown. We're pretty much averaging about 15 users a session online, but we'd love to have more people. This software we're using, I think, supports up to like 500 or something like that. So we have plenty of room to grow. But yeah, if you guys want to help in the forums, you know, get people to come. I wish I could have things a little better time-wise for users in Europe, but unfortunately, the day kind of works out that we have to have it after hours, and it's hard for us to come in the weekends on this. So, but that's one of the things that we start having other meetups on, and like if there's a UK meetup, right, we can that information gets disseminated there, and we can Skype in to help out. And have it at, you guys can actually have it at UK times instead of Austin time.
Yeah, I usually mention the most current meetup in the forum afterwards to try and encourage others to come and attend.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely please do. Or if you have a buddy who's like, you know, on the fence about GameSalad, have them come to the meetup, and you know we can answer questions about GameSalad. At some point, I would, at some point I'd like to maybe do like an intro to GameSalad meetup. I just haven't had a chance to. Or if there's any educators who would like to do a meetup education, I'm still looking for educators who want to do it. And also, James says, what about Phoenix, Arizona? I know there was some talk about getting something started in Phoenix, but we need someone to stand up and be the leader in Phoenix to start the meetup. Unfortunately, we don't have a budget to travel across the world and do meetups. I don't know how much fun that would be, but unfortunately, we can't travel that much right now. So, but we have no problem helping out people who want to start local GameSalad meetup groups. I'm quite happy, like I said, to help put you on our meetup. Basically, if you want to start a meetup group, we'll basically give you access to our meetup.com page so you can post events through that. We'll let you post on the forums with stickies, and we'll officially sanction you as a meetup group, official affiliate GameSalad meetup group. And then once I get the GameSalad and Twitter stuff going more, we'll also post the meetup on there. So you automatically get advertisements to our forums, our meetup group, our GameSalad, and Twitter accounts. So, you know, we'll help you out on that forum, definitely. And like I said, I'm happy to Skype in if it's not something crazy weird hours for our side. I'm happy to Skype in if you want like an official GameSalad person there too. New on this one here. There you go. On the polls. Go vote.
And you don't want to claim any of these in particular, so I don't go read.
Oh, we need to go over.
I'm full on that.
Mhm. So, do you expect there to be another 12-point version after 12.7, or is the focus going to be on 13 after 12.7?
So after 12, whatever version becomes the stable release, which I hope to God is 12.7, but it may be 12.8. Whatever the stable version is, once that goes out, we're pretty much not going to work on any Mac, iOS engine stuff. Steve and I are pretty much entirely focusing our efforts on Windows for the foreseeable year.
Yeah. For the at least through November minimum, unless we get really lucky. But yeah, the goal is that after we get this latest Mac version out, the goal is to bring Windows and Mac up to parity. Once we get Windows up to parity with 12 Mac, I think we're going to do a release then of Windows, and then we'll start on a parallel.
We're just going to go all the way 13.
Okay, yeah. So effectively, we'll work on Windows until it's up to 13, and then we'll finish up what bits of Mac need to be added to do that, and then we'll do effectively a simultaneous release of 13. Although while we're working on Windows, as we add new features and well, considering it's mainly a feature release, as we add new features, we'll be doing nightly builds, and so you'll be able to see incremental progress of Windows if you're a pro user and go to the nightly build page.
And the Mac time, too. We'll put out Mac ones, too, but not much is going to happen. We'll put out Mac 1, and you'll probably see Mac uninstalled for a while.
Yeah.
But you'll at least get that preview. You'll be able to actually see the preview of Mac 13. Yeah. Things like Facebook and things like that will be on 13.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Got some more polls coming, Cam? Feel free to suggest polls. We're happy for suggestions.
Yeah, for the top one, how to make my games better. I don't know if any of you guys watch this. There's a channel on YouTube called Extra Credits. Well, I believe credits is spelled with a Z, and they do a weekly a web video about game design. Not all of it applies to the mobile space, but every once in a while they'll do something that does, and they're very good. And I would highly recommend watching their weekly videos on game design, because especially when they do cover mobile space issues, what they say is sage advice. Yeah, if you're looking to make games better, check out Extra Credits on YouTube.
There's also another channel I like. They don't post a lot of content, or at least a lot of content related to game design, but it's I think the channel name is Ego Raptor, and he's got this one series called he's got one series of videos called Sequelitis, and a lot of it is about game design and comparing like one version of a game versus a sequel. And I think the two we covered that I liked were, one was about the Legend of Zelda versus the 3D Legend of Zelda, the original Zelda versus the 3D Zelda, and then one was about sequels to Mega Man and like commentary and how good design decisions were made as
Yeah, I haven't done too much game design, but we could bring people in talk about game design if people are interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a game designer on staff that does our templates and demo games. Plus, some of the staff, including myself, have worked in making games, and so we'd be more than happy to talk about actual game design itself rather than anything necessarily GameSalad specific.
I really like your role, Sam.
like, a third of the people are here just to ask questions, and a lot of them just want to know how to use the tool better.
Yeah, I probably should have Jonathan. Maybe we could talk about secret tips or tricks on how to do things quick for GameSalad or do things GameSalad. Or Also, one fun topic is if people want to talk about marketing and how you market your app. I'd love to have people, if somebody who has had success on the App Store and wants to talk about how you market your app better, that's kind of a fun topic to do too. Also, if anybody's interested, this month is Captivate in Austin. If anybody is here in town, I'll be speaking at the Captivate conference on mobile gaming and mobile technology.
So what is Captivate?
Oh, Captivate is the local game. Basically, it's a local game conference here. It's music, videos, and games. Let me try and pull it up real quick. Now that I've no longer shared my screen. No, that's funny. Where's the Captivate conference? Oh, one second. Let me find it. Pull it up. I think I just had it earlier today. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. Oh, and now I can't show my screen. Oh, all right. After the poll, I'll show you the Captivate website so you can at least know where to go.
Yeah, monetization is a big topic. There's like successful monetization is a difficult thing to do.
It's hard now. The iOS and the Android stores are hard to get your game through. Like, it isn't like people seeing your game and doing about it.
One suggestion is to do not do it the way the EA is currently doing it, where it's a free game and you literally have to pay for anything you want to do.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'd rather just buy. I like the games where you can just buy the unlock and you're like, done.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, so it depends on the game. Some games are successful like that. Some games, they haven't found success. They find more success with microtransactions.
Yeah.
But there's good ways and bad ways to do microtransactions, and Electronic Arts does it the best way.
They do it the evil way.
Yeah. So don't be Electronic Arts. Be nice.
And if you're gonna do it, be super subtle.
Yeah, unfortunately, microtransactions don't work for every type of game. I'm just working on a kind of point-and-click style adventure game, and their microtransactions just don't really work unless you do it as an episodic thing.
Mm-hmm. Which can work, actually, for an adventure game. There's been several successful adventure games that have come out as episodic. Telltale Games is well known for doing episodic games like that.
Yeah, but that makes the scope much larger than you really need to have a team. I don't think that can be really done in a one-man team.
True.
I'm just trying to share my screen now. How do I share my screen again?
Just use a click.
Okay.
All right. So, wow. So the trick here is people who make enough for some extra spending money need to talk to the people who are not making enough to cover their program. There's an even amount there, so we should be able to bring everyone up to once.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the conference I was talking about. It's actually run by an ex-GameSalad employee. We started it, and I'm one of the speakers there. I'll be giving a talk about mobile development. It's here in Austin. So if you want to come meet me in person, there I am right there, the speaker.
Hey.
If you're in town for this, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cheap conference, and all game developers will be there, and cross development as well. So.
Yeah. I think it's, while there's a lot of focus on games, I think it's meant to be handle a lot of different interactive media. So actually different media. So think of it as a digital media.
I find it weird how often I come up with that street for this stuff. All right, back to polls.
Philip here again. I keep typing in the question box. I don't know whether you guys can see it or whether they're not going through. That's all right. Just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
I'll let him do that. I'll pull it on my screen up here in a second. Let me turn off my share and I'll pull up on there.
Okay, what do we got?
Oh, sorry about that, Phil.
Names of both the YouTube channels. Okay, so what was the one you were doing extra credit?
We're pulling up now. I'll answer. Oh yeah, Philip asked how to market apps would be a great topic, especially from successful members. So if you're a successful member who knows how to market your games and it's been successful at that, let me know if you want to do a talk about that. I'm sure we all would love to hear that. Oh, yeah, we should do some ACL sometime. Artez Augustine said he just left. He was here for ACL and he just left. It would take more time. However, the conference is at the end of October, not the beginning of October. So it's October 24th, 25th, and 26th. So you might be staying here a while. All right. Hi, all. Our attributes for device, country, language, and marketing are making it in 12.7. I feel it's crucial to know for professional UI. So Steve and I talked about this a bit. We had started putting a change in, but due to the increasing amount of bug count and the pushing out of the timetable, we haven't put it in.
So it won't be for 12.7.
So probably will be close to probably more like 13.
Any chance for like a 12.8, if depending on the size of it?
It would depend. It would maybe we'll do it depending. You can. I think there's a feature request in here. Isn't there already a feature request for it? If there's not, there should be. That's not a feature. Feature request, add one. We are going to do it. I don't think it's going to make it in 12.7. There's just too many bugs. We need to get 12.7 out. If we keep adding more features in, this is called feature creep, if you didn't know. If we keep putting all these features in, then we'll never get 12.7 out to you guys, and it'll be like next year. So we're going to put down probably in 13. All right. Back to me going through the questions. Sorry. So I'm here looking at the questions now. A better question would be if you want to make a living from this.
Yeah, probably that.
Okay, so Tan's on that one. Okay. All right. There's another poll for you there, Tan. Yeah, if anyone's interested, I think there are sessions actually up there. There we go, there's my session. So if anybody's interested, this is the session I'm talking at. Oh, but you can't add them, we'll get to them. But yeah, we are 13 and 16 more bugs. So we have fixed quite a few this year. I think we used to have like 200 something in our database, and now we're down to like a handful. So we probably should go through another round of bug squashing next year after we get Windows back up running. Yeah. Actually, a big chunk in our database is Windows. There's still a ton of Windows bugs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Once we get through that list that is on your plate, I think that covers all the major bugs. Everything else is kind of minor.
Yeah, pretty much. Next year we should be down to minor bugs and feature stuff.
New features.
We've dealt with all the really fairly nasty ones. I think it's like one or two, but most of them again are still on Windows. But yeah, we agree. We know there's definitely bugs we need to get fixed. Also, one of the reasons we don't have 12.7 out right now is because it's not very feature. The feature we want to put in there isn't worth right.
So, excellent. Participation.
Yeah. All right. There you go. There's a talk, by the way, if you're interested. If you're down here, here's the talk I'm giving.
Will that talk be available post-conference? Will they be
I don't know. I think so. Do you know Tan, the recording on?
I don't know.
Can't remember. I cannot remember. I also don't know when I'm giving it yet, so I don't know if anybody else knows when I'm giving that presentation.
Is this conference more tech-oriented or business-oriented?
It's a little both. They have a section quartered off for the business people to talk business, and then they have the majority of the bottom part being all tech types and kind of mingling. They have a lot of topics on here, like look at the sessions. And we got everything from like 3D scanning for films and games, AAA mobile development. You know, there's all kinds of interesting things in here. There's the changing business. Bringing into video games by student. For student track, I'm sorry, for student track. They've got the whole kit and caboodle here, I think. They're about going indie. It just keeps going. They're still looking for volunteers, Steve, if you want to get in for free.
And anyone who hasn't talked yet, say hi so we know you're alive. Okay, we don't know if you're alive. Maybe everyone else on the phone is undead.
Yeah, today seems to be quite quiet.
Yeah. So Phil put in here a question: Are any of you guys members of the Genesis Pure? They're having a worldwide conference in Austin the 17th, 18th, and 19th of October.
Don't know what that is.
Why? I would look it up. So currently, no. Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
We got more answers from this survey than we have.
Oh, I missed the survey. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh. We're split on people working from home and full-time else. Okay. What do you think is again 13% that are full-time game developers helps people?
No students. That's interesting.
I've had a hard time getting students to show up. Not sure what it is exactly. You know, it's not hard to click a link and headphones on. I don't think.
They're busy bees. Yeah. They're either out studying or out partying. Or out land partying.
And people's the LAN party. Do you just like
Not exactly.
online, I guess? I said that like a while back. I had somebody at my house. It's like people like, people LAN party.
I just started. I couldn't think of any good categories, so that's what I came up with.
Just make apps, which they're all of the above.
I think there should be a tick one as well, so you can select more.
Ah, yeah. I should have done that. Oh well, 22% of people have voted, so we'll see.
You make more than one. What's your primary interest or output?
Or let me see here. I could close the poll and reopen it.
That shows us the question. That's exactly how to answer this question, Philip. Wait, you... It's like a little fishy to me. Now there's a talk, and you figure out these are games.
So either people stopped voting, or people are having a hard time deciding what kind of games they think.
There's no voting. There's 80% voted.
Well, there's 56 and it's kind of stuck there for a while.
Oh. Could be a...
All right, I think we may just... I'm gonna
There's 67.
I'm gonna put the other poll back up after this. News and poll.
Casual games.
Those people focus on the puzzle games, a few action games, and someone makes just apps, or a type of game that's not in either of our lists.
You consider a hardcore puzzle game?
The Room? Oh, that's the area for me.
I played that one.
I just put it on a symmetry thing, actually, but hardcore puzzle game. Let me think here. Arcade version of Tetris, in which you play with old pieces of
That is hardcore.
That would definitely, yeah. That would be pretty hardcore.
Alright.
I like the shocking game, like you have to wire yourself up to the console and like shocks you if you don't do it right.
There was a game on Ross's Game Dungeon, what he did a while back, which was an old Tetris variation where every level had different special rules with it. So sometimes like pieces would be invisible, or sometimes pieces would disappear on you. And it was like, yeah, really, really hardcore.
You might think Monument Valley might be a hardcore puzzle game.
Nice. That's not really easy.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
I zoomed through that.
I did too, but it was still enjoyable. Like
It was enjoyable when I was hard.
It depends. Is it hardcore if it's hard, or is it hardcore if it's not your standard?
I think it's hardcore. I think hardcore refers, in puzzle games, refers to difficulty.
I don't know.
Rather than necessarily.
Versus like a hardcore gamer, like if you're.
Yeah.
If hardcore refers to the gamer or the difficulty of the actual app?
Yeah, I would say that by hardcore, I would define it as something that's not just something you play in 5 minutes on the tube, or it's just something you have to invest more energy to, and kind of more complicated and bigger playthrough.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be difficult enough that you can't just look at the puzzle and know immediately what the answer is.
Yeah, well, there's parts of that Monument Valley that are just, I would say, like the whole thing. But you had to dedicate some time to it, though, right?
Yeah, you did have to dedicate.
It wasn't like 5 minutes, it was done.
Yeah,
it
was a longer game.
Yeah, it's maybe about the.
I'm not sure. Look at how many hours people played Flappy Bird.
Yeah. But the thing is, for Flappy Bird, you don't have to play it long to finish it. I mean, because it doesn't have an ending. Whereas a puzzle game has a definite ending, and so it's like, this puzzle game.
You've accomplished it. Yeah.
This puzzle game, you can do it in half an hour. This puzzle game, it takes, a while to do.
Oh wait, I gotta close this poll and redo it real quick.
Okay.
I would definitely consider Flappy Bird to be more kind of as a casual action game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you have to, for Flappy Bird, it's not like you have to memorize the levels or anything like that, like you would have to for like Wario Brothers.
Yeah, it's a very simple mechanic. You just tap. There's nothing more to it really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems